Hey everybody, hope this video finds you well at the time that you get to listen to it. I apologize for not having uploaded any videos. Recently, I have been very sick for about a week now. So for those who don't know, like I've said, my goal for the new year was to pick up some real estate. I've basically been plugging away at between working, trading, on Webull, as well as on M1. And of course, for those who don't know, I am a nurse, been a nurse, been in the healthcare field for about 10 years now. I work as a nurse here in New York. I've been here for about 8 years, and I work here at one of the major hospitals. So I'm doing a lot of overtime or picking up extra shifts or seeing patients privately, etc. Basically, kind of as they say, foresee the writing on the wall. As I'm sure if you've watched my last video, I talked about some dark times that we were going to be coming into. We're seeing a lot of that basically come to fruition in terms of social media with the blocking of the president, basically off of almost every single platform, even many of those who support him, senators, Republican senators, members of the GOP, are literally being deplatformed in every way, shape, or form. Parler has been removed, etc. And it will continue to get worse in the coming days. The financial markets, on the other hand, are not quite sure. We're seeing move to the upside. The perception is that Joe Biden will come into office, and of course, he will print the dollar into in existence. Um, excuse me, and that's why you're seeing the market basically float higher as more liquidity comes into the market. The market is just going to keep floating higher until catalyst, until something happens, interest rates go up, the demand for the dollar rises, causing a strengthening of the dollar. You should pay attention, paying attention to the 10-year Treasury note. Um, but in terms of my account, like I've said, I spoke fairly extensively in one of my other videos talking about the value of dividend investing, and even through the hard times of the market crash in the early 20s and 30s, and of course throughout the different years that the stock market has been in existence, in numerous periods of time where the market has basically collapsed. In the 20s, I think it was in the 20s, the market fell 90%. 90%. And if you look back at the history of the Dow, like you go all the way back, you go back to the 20s, and the market literally fell 90%. I don't know if I feel like going back, but in any event, as you can see, and that should not be surprised during the crash here from about what is this, from 2019, the market fell, what, 50%, 35%. So not, I think we came down to about 18 and change was the low, so about 35%. But if you look way back, the market fell way back to about 90% during the Great Depression. And of course, throughout the existence of the stock market, there's been periods where the market's pulled back 30, 40, 50%. So in any event, what I did want to talk a little bit, of course, looking at the portfolio, as you can see, I did take some money out. I have some money allocated into cash just for emergencies. I did want to have roughly about 10% on hand. I didn't want to be all in. And as you can see, the portfolio is doing quite well. For the month, as you can see, we netted 329 in dividends. And for many individuals who've either lost their jobs or who have had cutting the hours, that extra 329 can go a long way to maybe paying a bill off, keeping your lights on, being able to buy groceries, etc. That's basically the value of dividend investing. And of course, for the month, we were up 1643 for the month. I still do swing trading on Webull. I also have my TD account that I started prior to this account, and I also have my IRA with M1. As you can see, the M1 holding up quite well, with about 4,700 invested, and we're up about 1,000 on this account. So for this, like I said, for this year, we're looking to take this account to well over 100,000. My goal is to basically get the monthly cash flow to be about $600. That's basically the goal. But the more important goal is to basically to get some real estate abroad, looking to diversify, I guess, my portfolio by having some real estate abroad, utilizing basically the cash flow from the dividend portfolio to try to pay off some of the expenses. I will probably more than likely have to pay, start a bank account, etc., do all those things abroad first, build up some credit, as I don't have any financial history in Colombia, which is basically my goal to move out to Colombia. So just basically one thing, I just want to touch on some of the things that I did add, and I did unfortunately remove Chewy prematurely from the portfolio, as well as Chegg. Should have left that one in, but it kind of is what it is. Was really pushing for more, dividend. So I basically went a little bit into Walgreens Boots. Pfizer ended up getting out of most of Pfizer, SPG. Unfortunately, did get out of Abivi. I was hoping Abivi was going to come below 100. Haven't had that opportunity yet, and I'm basically still holding on to a little bit of BEP. So a little bit of a pullback. Basically, so what I did add is I added BGS Foods, which pays a solid dividend. Just because I think having a little bit into food for the coming years may be worthwhile. BGS doesn't exactly have the best looking chart. We are seeing a little bit of a rally, but if you look at the long term on the chart, not exactly the best looking chart. So kind of looking to scale into this dividend stock, as well as, of course, we went into Walgreens Boots. Walgreens Boots are already up 7%. Unfortunately, only nibbled at WBA. WBA seeing a rise, more than likely because of vaccine distribution. So they will benefit. Also, the deal, I believe, between like Warren Buffett and I think it was Warren Buffett and Amazon, they were trying to have like their own pharmaceutical dispensing, and that basically fell through. Excuse me. Excuse me. Which had probably been basically weighing down pretty heavy on Walgreens. And so we're seeing a really nice bump from 40 to 47. Yesterday we were up over 5%. So I will be adding to Walgreens. In terms of my risk portion, I did scale back a little bit, but I did add Alibaba. So I've currently put 1,200 in so far. I will be adding another 1,200, probably going to keep that at about 2,500. And then, of course, things like I've talked about before, like Play, basically reaching. I have added a little bit to it, not as much as I wanted, but Play really pushing. As you can see, JetBlue stalling. It is an opportunity for me to buy some more, which I have. Basically going to be adding more to the portfolio this month. I'll probably add another $2,000 this month to the portfolio and keep some of that allotted into cash just for emergencies, and then allocate some of that into more dividend paying stocks. Things like Wells Fargo have been doing really well. Wells Fargo, ExxonMobil. If you've been paying attention, as you can see, we're seeing nice breakouts in Wells Fargo, as well as breakouts in ExxonMobil. So hopefully, had the opportunity to buy some of these recovery plays. In terms of the Webull account, excuse me, basically holding, here's my positions here. I'm basically scaling into Tattoo Chef. Been holding a little bit of GHIV, Palantir, APXT, and Barrick Gold. Barrick Gold I'll probably just be holding to a little bit of a push to about 26. Let me see. And that's just for if anything happens, the market goes to hell in a that's not showing up for me. Here we go. That's why. I want to see Barrick Gold. So I basically just bought a little bit of Barrick Gold. I think it will eventually trace back up. I did have a little bit more, sold some of it out here, held the rest, bought a little bit more down here. I think Barrick Gold will scale back up probably to about 26, and then I'll probably take profits. But that's basically what I'm holding on to. I am building in APXT. APXT looks like it's been consolidating. Ooh, we're up $1.14. Nice. Looks like we're up $1.14 pre-market. And then Palantir, of course, I've been scaling in. It's basically also been channeling as well. In terms of Tattoo Chef holding here at about 20s. If it does come down, I'll look to buy it. If we get a nice little breakout on volume, we really could see this stock start to run. I think GHIV was another one that I've been holding on to. I did buy a little bit more down here. I think I originally got in at 12 to around $12, bought a little bit more, bought more on the pullback, etc. So that's basically what I've been doing over the past couple of days, adding to the portfolio, looking for where I can take profits off, allocating those into other dividend plays, or looking at things like Baba. I think Baba, Jack Ma basically just disappeared. Everybody's like, "You seeing Jack Ma playing like where's Waldo with Jack Ma?" As he basically said the wrong thing to the CCP government, and then basically this has been missing for the past like 9 weeks, I think. So of course, the market has pulled back on the news of where the hell Jack Ma go, as well as the news of whether certain stocks are going to be delisted via the New York Stock Exchange. We are going to have to wait and see. It's getting crazy out there. Most importantly, be prepared. The only thing I can say is make sure you have some cash on hand. That is not in a bank. Make sure you have a healthy amount of money that you've pulled out of the market just in case. Make sure you have enough food, water, food that will not go bad in case there's a power outage. There's some information out there about some potential unrest. Be very careful about how you move while you were out there. Be careful with your finances. And I'll try to keep in touch with you. I've got work tonight, basically going back to the hospital. Still not feeling 100%, but definitely am better than where I was on the 7th. I basically did 3 days, 1 day off, and then I was supposed to do 7 days in a row. And then on my 7th day, I was not feeling well. By the end of my Wednesday night shift at the hospital, ended up calling out on the 7th, and I've basically been sick since then. Still not 100%, but way better than where I was these past couple of days. Typically by like the 7th, 8th, 9th day, you're basically at the peak of whatever it is that you have. More than likely it's the flu. It is flu season. So basically I'm gonna leave it there. Anyways, I'll keep in touch with you. Thanks for watching, and I'll check you out next time. Be safe out there.